Hello, everybody. It is Tim with the Whittemore Group here at eXp Realty. We got another Wednesday with the Whittemore Group, and it's going to be good. A lot of the questions that I've been getting lately is, when's the best time to sell my house? Since it's the beginning of the year, they're thinking, hey, I want to buy in the next 12 months or so. I've got a house to sell. When's the best time to actually move? So I did some research here, and I'd like to share some of that with you. So if you're in the market to sell or buy or whatever it is, I know that you as a seller want to sell as quickly as possible for the best possible price, right? So is now the best time, or what's the best path to kind of go down? So there's a lot of tools to kind of figure that out. Of course, you can go on our website or any of the other real estate websites and get a home evaluation. You can also check seasonal data, at least here in Florida. There's not so much stark contrast when it comes to seasonal fluxes in real estate. However, it can still give you a good idea what time to sell depending on your marketplace. Now, know that when you do have to sell, it's not always up to you. It could be a majority of different factors, which could be, you're in the military, you got orders, the job transferred you, whatever it is. Either way, there's a lot that contributes to that. And what we're going to try to do is try to get it quickly when the most buyers are active, right? Okay, so let's move into that. What inspires people to move? All right, so there's 4 different things that we came up with. One is to say upgrade to a newer or better home. Of course, better is a pretty relative term. What's better? Could it be schools? Could it be the location, community, the commute to work? Better quality of life, and whatever means the best to you, right? Just know when you sell your house, when you're moving. So most of the people that end up purchasing a house usually end up having to finance it. Most everybody, right? So you've been living in that house. You want to think of, okay, so how much am I going to get for this house? How much equity have I earned? How long have I been here? So you can go through those evaluations, figure out how much that you owe, and then figure out the closing cost and applicable, commissions, those sort of things to figure that out. Now, I know this seems like a whole lot of stuff. So my best suggestion would be to contact a real estate professional, at least just to get an estimate of what those different things are. Also know that if you are upgrading and getting a better house, if it's bigger and it's in a better neighborhood, know that if you live in a house, your house will appreciate a little bit less if it's smaller or less as good, whatever you want to call it, as it moves up. And know that those other houses that you're looking for that's bigger, know that its appreciation is going to be at a much larger scale because it's a bigger home, right? So those price points will move, applicably with the size of the home and the area it's in. Okay, next one is you have an extending family. Woo, it's expanding. That could be a new baby. It could be you adopted somebody, or maybe it's just your, cousin Eddie decides to move in and you need to house them. Sorry, I couldn't help it. It was just December. It could be that, say, you've got a parent that needs to move in and they need some extra care, so you need some extra space. So that's one of those reasons that people end up moving. You need a little bit more extra square footage because you got used to just a couple of people in the house, and now there's more people cramping on your style. We don't like that. All right. So relocating for a job, a lot of the times when it comes to that, we don't have a choice, right? So if you're military, you got orders, you're in a company and they have a promotion and you have to move, those sort of things will make you go ahead and move. Sometimes it's completely out of your control where the heck that you're going. So just know that either way, when you're moving in those locations, there's a way to actually sell these houses. All right. If you do have a choice, this seems like a no-brainer, but pick a place where you want to live. So kind of look into the location and be like, hey, is this some place that I want to live, or is it close enough and can I deal with that commute to get to the next place? All right. If you're moving down here to Florida, which is where this video is taking place now, some folks, you just can't beat the Florida real estate market, and it has very little real estate fluctuations. So no matter what, if you're in Florida and want to move more south or come up here to the Panhandle, whatever it is, there are, but they're not as severe as, say, up in New York or North Dakota or something like that, where it's a stark difference between selling a house in January, which we're in now, versus what it's going to be in the spring. Florida is not so bad. Okay, you need to find a cheaper house. Now, this could be a different bunch of the things. So it could be that you're downsizing. Maybe you lost a job and that job's going nowhere, those sort of things. Maybe you're empty nesting and now you got a big old house and nobody's in it and you got to clean all that stuff and you don't want to hire a maid. I get it. Let's get down. Maybe it's time for condo life. Who knows? But in any case, that's another reason that you could come down for that. So you may wonder, and another question I had was, how long do people typically stay in homes? So it really depends on why they're moving. Maybe they got an itch to move. They wanted to change of scenery. They wanted to be close to family and friends, or just closer to stuff, right? They just want to be closer to stuff. Or maybe it's the grandkids, who knows? Either way, people typically stay in their houses on average anywhere between 5 to 9 years before they move. Good news is, at least in this area of Florida, we've been appreciating about 3 to 4% per year. No, with just off the cuff, all right? Call me if you want actual estimates. Off the cuff, it's somewhere around, you're going to pay somewhere around 5 to 7% or whatever it is of whatever your house is, with closing costs and fees and stuff like that. So if it's appreciated up 8%, in about 2 years, you can walk away with a little bit of money with the equity and everything else that you got in the house and get to go where you need to go. All right, so let's talk about buyer active activity cycles. So that might be a factor where you do live. You can wait and see when the peak season is going to come up and when you need to move. But a lot of people, they're in a position where they have to move now. Again, it's really based off of marketing on and exposure on how you get that thing sold. People still need to move into houses all times of year, so don't worry about that too much. However, if you can game the system, depending on your area, ask your local real estate professional, ask me, I'll be able to hook you up. All right. Just know, as I had mentioned before, in Florida, there's not a big swing, or really not. Each year, it's anywhere between 60 to 80,000 houses throughout the year. Even in the big swings to the low swings, it's only a difference of 20,000. There's still plenty of people trying to move down here. There's still always people looking to move, even in the Dakotas, believe it or not. I don't know why I'm bagging on them today. I hope somebody leaves a comment for that. All right. Last thing is, make sure that you're ready when you're ready to pull the trigger. All right. Make sure that there's a good number of buyers in your market in order to get ready to sell. Also know that when you are selling, there's really 5 key factors to it. The ones that you can control are the price, terms, and condition of your house. So get it ready, right? And the price will be depending upon whatever the market dictates. You've probably heard us say this before. We don't really, we can't determine the price the house sells. The market determines that. Although we can give you the best idea to where to position it to sell for the most amount of money. Now, the other part to this as well, because I gave you the first 3, the location. You can't do anything about the location unless you're in a trailer park or something like that. You can't pick your house up and move it to another location. Thanks, John. You can't do that. So know that the location we can't do anything about. And what I would suggest that you do is either ask us, we will give you some tips on what you need to do to get your house ready to sell for the price that you're willing to accept. Now, also know, and I'll give you a couple of big ones to really concentrate on, make sure that it has a really good curb appeal. We want to get people into the house so they have the opportunity to fall in love with it, all right, for our buyers. And you want to price it the way that the market is dictating. So put it right on there, all right? The last part, I said there were 5, I gave you 4, right? Price, terms, condition, and location. Last one's exposure. That's where we usually get hired for. We take all those 4 factors, give you the best price, and then we give you that exposure so that people know that you're trying to sell your house, show you all the cool features about it, and hopefully get some buyers in there to sell quickly. All right, well, that's all that I got. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact us. Make sure to like and share this video. That really helps us out. And if you do know somebody that could really use this information, please do send it to them. If you have any additional questions, do leave it in the comments below. We're always looking for ideas to put in more videos and more content that you guys like. And one last thing, did you notice the pun that was up here? Take a quick look. All right, we'll see you next Wednesday.